Tonight on CTV, protest in Fort Collins over fair working wages and learn about how students are handling final stress.
Then we find out about some long overdue renovations coming to the CSU campus.
Finally, meet those working on the revitalization of the CSU fashion show and one of the CSU Athletics' biggest fans.
All that and more on CTV starting right now.
Good evening, Rammies. I'm Weston Hubbard.
And I'm Natalie Devereaux.
The parents of Roy Summers, a boy who died after accidentally shooting himself, turned themselves into the Larimer County Jail last Friday. Summers, just 6 years old, died in a hospital after sustaining gunshot injuries on April 10th. Arrest warrants were put out for Summers' parents, Rosannetta McCall and Ronald Matthews, at the time. McCall was accused of child abuse and unlawful storage of a firearm after she moved the handgun to a bathroom that was frequently visited by her children. When McCall's husband was not present during the incident, a warrant for his arrest was issued, as he was accused of lying to authorities and tampering with evidence.
Nearly 40 CSU students are currently displaced from their homes due to faulty plumbing. These students are all part of the Pi Kappa Phi fraternity and were forced to leave their home following flood damage that made the home unfit for human occupancy. The building property owner said they are committed to resolving the issues, and CSU's Housing, Dining, and Services have offered support and resources to help the students impacted. With finals being next week, I certainly hope my fellow Rammies are able to return to their homes soon.
Life in Fort Collins can be very expensive. However, what happens when your job doesn't just pay you enough to afford basic living, but they also bill you for simply just being there? Colorado State University's campus was quite loud Wednesday afternoon. Members of the CSU community gathered here on the LSC Plaza in order to deliver a message to Joyce McConnell and the board of directors. We want fair wages and we want them now.
Got to go!
And there's an organization behind it all.
So GWOC is the Graduate Workers Organizing Cooperative, organizing especially around how little money we make and how much we have to pay back in the form of fees to the university.
Deb is just one of many people here at CSU's campus that feel that they are not being paid adequately for the work that they have been putting in.
The workers in this university are not paid fairly and are not valued well, whether you are a grad worker, whether you are contingent faculty and adjunct, whether you are an admin professional.
Originally, this was just going to be a protest rally that started in the Oval and made its way over to the LSC Plaza. Right outside the room where Joyce McConnell, the CSU president, as well as the board of directors were having a budget meeting.
It's not enough! 3% is not enough!
However, determined to make their voices heard, the protest rally moved inside the LSC, going right outside the room where the budget meeting was taking place.
No more pay to work! No more pay to work!
While it's unsure if the protest rally changed anything this time around, one thing is for certain: GWOC is not going anywhere anytime soon.
Wade will continue to demand better working conditions, and we are in this for the long run, and we will be heard.
Yeah!
GWOC expects to keep up the protest until changes are made, and they expect to rally more people in the coming years.
Housing prices in Colorado have seen a 69% increase since 2015, which means a decrease in accessibility to housing, especially near campus. CSU employees are finding it increasingly difficult to reside close to work, and the university is stepping up to help. The Employee Housing Program will aid these workers amid rising prices. They have numerous projects planned, including employee apartments off Timberline Road, where construction will begin in August. A partnership with Canvas Credit Union is also in the works to waive private mortgage insurance for houses. The school and housing program recognizes changes will not be immediate, but have made this a priority.
Colorado State University's network ID system is about to change. EID is the current identification program in place for students. However, members of the CSU Division of Information Technology feel that it is outdated. The system that would take its place is called NetID. NetID has some aspects that make it preferable over EID, such as quicker updates to the system for student and human resource information. It's overall a more secure system, as well as the network being the structure that Colorado State University's Pueblo campus already uses, therefore allowing for both schools to be more intertwined. The team behind the upgrade notes that they don't believe students will notice any changes, other than the name going from EID to NetID. The switch is expected to happen sometime in July, before fall classes get into full swing.
Leaked Supreme Court documents about Roe v. Wade sparked outrage nationwide, including in Fort Collins. Hundreds gathered in Old Town Plaza, voicing their opinion about the potential overturning of the 50-year-old ruling. The 1973 case established that a woman has the constitutional right to an abortion up until fetal viability. On average, there are over 800,000 legal abortions annually in the U.S., meaning tens of millions of pregnancies have ended in abortion since the 70s. Some argue these high termination rates are saving lives, while others say they are taking them. In the leaked draft opinion written by Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito, it appears a court majority is in favor of overturning Roe v. Wade, meaning abortion rights would be handed back to the states and the voters. However, this document was dated February 10th, and a draft opinion does not mean a final decision. In the history of the Supreme Court, a draft opinion has never been leaked while a decision is pending, calling into question the motivation behind the source of the leak. Chief Justice Roberts confirmed the authenticity of the draft and ordered an investigation into how it got out, calling it an egregious breach of trust, and stating the court will not be undermined by this illegal action. Regardless of political affiliation, many people are certainly feeling the impacts of this leak. And one other thing that is causing people stress around this time of year is final exams.
That's right, Natalie, and reporter Gavin Wolf is here with us tonight to tell us more about that. Gavin?
Hey Rams, if you're anything like me, finals can be pretty overwhelming. And I know for a fact that I'm not alone in this, because researchers from Pew Social Trends found that finals and midterms are the top source of stress for 31% of CSU students. Classes and homework combined to make an additional 30% of college stressors. And while there are a lot of other things that college students can be overwhelmed by, academically performing well during this time of year is clearly a large priority. Luckily, there's a lot you can do to help manage stress during finals week.
As the semester comes to an end, study areas are filling up and many students are feeling the pressure to do well on finals.
As humans, we even put more pressure on ourselves because we see that end in sight, and it tenses our whole bodies up.
However, breathing exercises in particular can help relieve stress.
We talk a lot about using our breath to be in the moment at the Center for Mindfulness, because if I can take a nice deep breath and arrive, then I can be more present.
In the midst of finals, planning ahead is crucial for student Emily Leisure.
It's just super helpful to kind of get the bird's eye view, because when you think about all these things you have to do, it can kind of get really overwhelming. So honestly, having it set out, it's really helpful to just kind of be oriented with how my day's gonna go, just so I'm most productive.
When you're feeling overwhelmed, Deborah also recommends utilizing tools from the Center for Mindfulness.
There are some recorded meditation sessions. There are links to outside resources. I think the guided meditations are a rich resource that students could use just to calm their whole systems down and to be ready for a good night's sleep before those finals and to really be prepared.
Finals week can be challenging, but in the end, self-care is important.
Prioritize your sleep, take care of yourself. I feel like that's the most important. You're not going to perform well unless you feel good.
Remember, Rams, take some time for yourself in these last couple of weeks, and good luck on those finals. Back to you guys.
I'm definitely, feeling that stress of finals a little bit, but, I'm also about to graduate, so it's the end of an era.
I have to say, as a senior, I'm not really feeling the stress because I know I will be moving on, so it's all right, whatever happens.
You can just flex on me, whatever, it's fine. Anyways, if you want to make sure you're not feeling stressed about the weather, well, good news. Michelle Ellis is up next to tell you everything you need to know about the upcoming weather. Stay tuned. Welcome back from the break, Rammies. A man in northern Colorado has tested positive for the bird flu. Earlier this week, an inmate at a correctional facility in Delta County began to feel fatigued. His illness, after being confirmed to be the bird flu, was traced back to a commercial farm he worked at as part of an early release employment program. Since his diagnosis, he has been isolated and treated with an antiviral drug. The CDC has identified this to be the first case of this particular strain of the bird flu within the United States. The CDC believes that the specific bird flu is not likely to spread. It usually comes from mishandling of raw poultry, which is believed that may have been the case for this infection. With all that being said, it doesn't seem like this infection is going to fly off the handles anytime soon.
A Fort Collins fire has postponed Free Mulch Day. The fire started just before 5 in the evening last Friday at a city-owned slash pile near the intersection at LeMay and Riverside Avenue. This fire, known as the Hoffman Mill Fire, ignited by spontaneous combustion after days of dry and windy weather. Free mulch days were created by the City of Fort Collins Forestry Division to provide free wood mulch to the Fort Collins community to keep it out of the landfills. The Poudre Fire Authority and these recent rainy days have helped to extinguish the fire. However, this fire has made the city postpone at least 2 of their 3 free mulch days. These mulch days may be rescheduled, but those dates have not been solidified at this time.
The $28 million Laurie Student Center revitalization plan is set to continue this summer. It was put on hold for 2 years due to COVID, and construction should be complete by May 2023. Upgrades include renovations to both the CSU bookstore and Aspen Grill, as well as expansions to the Adult Learner Center and Veteran Service spaces. Because of these changes, the LSC's north entrances will be closed this summer, as well as sections of the parking lot.
It's official, Clark Hall will finally be getting a much-needed makeover.
The Andrew G. Clark Building was once an industrial feat for CSU when constructed back in the 60s, but in current times, the aging hall is now a popular punchline.
Like, I'm from the streets, except I'm from Clark. It's very dull. It's almost like you turn the saturation down.
The university hopes to turn those outdated tables by renovating the building.
Governor Polis signed legislation that had funding $38 million for a Clark revitalization and transformation.
The plan is to expand the hall and upgrade the interior.
For every student who's had water drip on their head on the 3rd floor of Clark, we probably should have fixed some of those things sooner.
It's important because Clark is not only the home of the College of Liberal Arts, but it's a symbol of the university. I think we see that over 99% of students take at least one class in Clark.
A high percentage of students also pushed for the change.
You know, there was some jokes involved, so that kind of humor went a long way in helping us move in this direction.
Renovating the largest hall on campus means interrupting its day-to-day operations.
It'll be a logistic challenge, but I'm confident we can get it done.
This may be a welcome challenge for those who presently walk these halls, but there is no denying the nostalgia surrounding the 50 years of past footsteps down those same halls.
I mean, I still love it. I love the people, and that's what really makes it lively.
I think we should appreciate the fact that we had a building like this, because it might have pulled us together in ways we hadn't expected.
There is a mix of apprehension and excitement to see the new building come to fruition.
Thank you for finally renovating Clark.
If I don't have something close to this space, it's going to get ugly. I just want everybody to know that, including the dean.
Construction is estimated to take place within 18 to 24 months. And after students already waiting years for these upgrades, I think we all have it in us to hold out just a bit longer.
Colorado State University hosted a career development event for high school students earlier this week. The Future Farmers of America, also known as FFA, visited campus where the students of the organization gathered in the Laurie Student Center. The event was hosted to help advance students with their knowledge in areas such as veterinarian sciences, employment skills, and agricultural sales. Competitions were also held to allow the students to apply their knowledge in between activities. Students were seen gathering in the halls of the LSC, eating food, making plans, and even sleeping to pass the time. At the end of the event, students were awarded with plaques in recognition of their hard work. Here to tell us more about the upcoming career events is Abby McPhail. Abby?
That's right, guys. After nearly 2 years, the Department of Design and Merchandising at CSU will be putting on their very first fashion show this Friday. We got an inside look as to what makes this show possible, so check it out.
Well, it's been a few months that we've been planning the fashion show. For my committee specifically, we are working on getting donations and sponsors for the fashion show. So far, we've raised over $10,000 in donations.
I've learned a lot in this class about setting up a fashion show. It's been a lot more complicated than I originally thought it was gonna be. There's so many committees and there's a budget that you have to think about. There's university rules and guidelines that we have to work around. So it's been great. There's been a lot of learning along the way, definitely, but as part of the marketing and promotions committee, I've learned about like social media and interaction, but then at the same time needing to reach out to other communities such as in magazines or TV and stuff like that.
My name's Graham McInnes. I'm an apparel design major here at CSU. So on our end at least, when it comes to promotions, our line of work has been ramping up throughout the whole semester. As the closer we get, the more work we have to do. Getting the word out, that's been a big brunch of where like I've been focusing my efforts. I was just in the plaza all day Friday, like handing out flowers and stuff with little QR codes for the fashion show. So like nickel and diming your way to success.
Well, I hope it goes super well and turns out smoothly. I'm also excited to see how people will interpret the in bloom style of like the 70s and hopefully appreciate all the hard work that everyone's done.
You know, we really get to display the designer's works and put it to life and have the models really transform the garments when rocking on the runway. Fashion means to me being able to adorn your body in clothes that make you feel confident and express who you are as a person.
It means the culmination of an individual's creative process. It's just one of the rawest ways that you can express yourself.
The event will be taking place Friday, May 6th at 5:30 in the evening. It is going to be hosted at the stadium for the very first time. So if you love fashion, you won't want to miss this event.
I am someone who struggles to dress myself and look good. So it's really cool to see that people are passionate about fashion.
Yeah, passionate about fashion.
Definitely,
Oh, yeah.
I agree. And all those beautiful shots of the different fabric were so cool to see. I loved it.
Yeah, it was a part of their drapery class, I think. So
That's so
it was
cool.
really cool.
I obviously everyone has their own passion. So.
Well, Rammies, that's all the news we have for you tonight.
But don't go anywhere, because Leah Kokowski is coming up after the break to introduce us to one of CSU Women's Athletics' biggest fans. Stay tuned.
Now, before we head off into the summer, a couple of us here on Thursdays have something to say. Weston, Natalie, and Michelle, you are all graduating soon, so is there something you'd like to say?
Honestly, this experience wouldn't be the same without you guys.
I have to say the same. It's been absolutely amazing. And I know you're watching, so hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Hi, Christina.
Echoing that sentiment, Mom, Dad, I love you guys. Thank you for supporting me. And I've had the best team in the world behind me this entire time. And I have to say that I would not have asked for a better co-anchor than Natalie. So, anyways, well, everyone, that's all we've got. Thank you so much for sticking around with us on Thursdays this semester. Make sure to tune in to Local Beat's last show of the year tomorrow. Right here on CTV.
Have a good night,
everyone.